This guy. Did he just go do like 20 curls with his little 10-pounders before he got
Oh,
on
they're
tonight, or what?
5, first of all. Second of all,
He's like-
they're actually holding up this light above my head right now. So, no, I didn't. But, what are we calling this?
The Potato Aim Podcast.
I get that, but
Yeah.
are we calling it Pip or is it PAPi? Like, is it Pip
It's
with the I?
PAPi.
With the I
It's
silent?
PAPi, bro.
Okay.
We've talked about
All
this.
right, fuck me, I guess.
So every time it's just PAPi.
Hi, PAPi.
Hey, PAPi.
No,
Okay.
it's I. I know they
No,
don't.
It's
I know
like
they don't
it's like
speak Spanish that far north.
it's like it's LJ.
I took 3 years of Spanish, okay, and I know 6 words. Donde es el baño? Where is the bathroom? That's all I need to know how to say. If I go to Mexico and I'm like, hey, I gotta go. Where's the bathroom? That's all I need.
That's all you need. I know where to ask where the library is.
You know
Donde
that from
es
Community, don't
la
you?
Biblioteca. Yeah, where's the library?
I can find the library in the bathroom.
That's all you need to know. You need to get
I need
smarter and go to the bathroom. That's all.
Cerveza.
Cerveza.
See.
Cerveza.
Oh, I need to get me one of those.
I guess I do too.
Be right back.
Same here.
That's gonna be a requirement of
going
this
to
every week is
Shut
getting
the
a
hell
beer.
up, Scar.
Only one that comes prepared. Look at these scrubs. Look at Zell's farmer's tan. Holy shit. Chats. Did you guys see this? Holy. Tell this man to get some actual sun here. God damn.
Okay, so apparently,
All right, hostess with the
Shut
mostest,
the
get us started.
fuck up.
The gun show here.
Okay, listen. Fine. Let's start this damn podcast. Welcome to the PAPi podcast. It's the Potato Aim podcast. The eye's invisible. Okay. If you don't understand it, look it up. I don't even care at this point. Okay. Here's what's going to happen. I'm the host this week. I'm going to decide who wins by giving points to each of these dummies. Scar, Cataclysm of Scar. Say hi.
Good point.
Say hi with your
You have
mouth.
to-
Oh,
This is-
hello.
If this is going to be on Spotify, you got to say hi, right?
Yeah, I realize that now. Okay.
Yeah, okay. And then we also have a moment with Alex here as well.
What's going on, guys?
That was so lame. and
Lame like your mom.
got me. But anyway, what's gonna happen is we pick topics to talk about every single week. This week we're gonna talk about the video game industry and where it's going in the future. And these two are gonna come up with stories and ideas for what it's gonna be like in the future. They're gonna have a title for me as well, and I'll pick points and I'll give points out for most intriguing, funny, because I like the guy, because he's being a dummy. I don't even care. I'm gonna probably take points away at this point. They all get -1 to start off with, so there's that.
50 points to Gryffindor.
And then at the end of the night, I pick who wins, and then whoever wins is gonna be the host next week. And that is all. So you've had time to think about it. We've known about this topic for a couple days. Yeah. Oh, don't look that Scar. Oh, I
Let me
I
pull up
know
the
what I'm
DMs.
talking about here. Yeah.
That was today.
when we decided what we're talking about, the gaming stuff. That was 2 days ago.
But like you were like the one that made like a
But-
whole game show and everything.
Okay, well, you've had long
That's
enough
I
to
thought we were just
decide.
gonna have like a
You've
suddenly
had-
Zell's just like
you've
we're gonna be
had
like whose
long
line
en-
is it anyway here?
You've had long enough to make a title. What's your damn title for this? Your story?
Let's let Alex start because you know alphabetical order here.
You're the worst. Alex,
has
let's
nothing.
go.
Scar has nothing.
Literally nothing. Scar, -2 points. You have -2. Alex is -1.
You need a counter on your stream too for to, like do
Nope,
updates in real
it's in
time
my
for the
head.
points.
I'm brilliant, so it's all in my head.
Oh, he's brilliant. Hey chat. We'll,
I'm gonna,
we'll see about
I'm gonna
that.
lose what points are in about 5 minutes. So
I just want to point out that this man DM'd us today and was like, I need you to have like a research paper written with like a title, opening,
Thank
a
you.
conclusion,
hey,
and like a full body.
what
He wa- he's like-
what is your damn story title? That's all I care about right now. What's your story title?
The title of my argument is video games in the future.
Fucking stupid. Scar, go. What is your title? I don't even care. I don't even care what it is. Just go. You're better than both. Of you get -5 points to start off this game. That was both terrible. Scar, go first. Your story.
No, we're doing
Intrigue me.
alphabetical order here. So a moment
Nope,
with
I don't
Alex
even care.
is leading off.
I am the
All right,
I am the
all right,
Nope.
all right.
Shut up, Alex. I'm the
My
host.
title's
Scar,
IRL
go.
Matrix. There you go. IRL Matrix.
I am the host.
No,
Scar, go.
IRL Matrix. So I'm pretty sure that we've all seen the movies that have been coming out between like The Matrix and that one with Gerard Butler. I can't remember what it's called right now. It's
No
like
idea.
Death Game or something like that.
Like
Ready Player
iGamer.
One?
Yeah, iGamer.
Or no, it's just called
No,
Gamer.
Gamer. It's just Gamer. Yeah.
Never
It's
seen
gonna
it.
be like a mix between like that and what was that other one that came out recently here that had like all the video game references. I'm blanking.
Human.
Was that Ready Player One or was that
Ready Player One. So
Or what's the one that came out recently? Free Guy.
yeah, Ready. Yeah, no, I'm talking about Ready Player One.
Well, Free Guy
Free Guy
just
came
came
out,
out,
like-
and it's
like-
basically
yeah.
it's basically what you're talking about.
Yeah, that one's a little different though. That's not what the premise of my argument is here. What I'm saying is it's going to be a mix between like The Matrix, Ready Player One, and Gamer. Whether you're going to be like actually in the game and you're going to be feeling things IRL, like by wearing these little morph suits, and it's going to be like you're going to have like sexualized shit on there, like what you saw in Gamer and stuff like that. Video games and just everything is going to be way far down the road, and it's just going to be like virtual reality. Then that's where it's going to be like Ready Player One, where there's going to be people living there and like not getting out of it ever, and it's just going to be like people in like their little shacks just living in the Matrix.
So you're saying this whole video game industry as a whole is going to develop because the porn industry is going to develop, and that's what's going to happen.
Well, I
And
mean,
the-
like,
and
let's
the-
be real. There's already like some weird adult games and shit out there, right? So like the porn industry has already been doing like VR porn and stuff like that, right?
There's
and
been
so, like-
VR games too. I'm gonna throw that out there.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that like what the porn industry is gonna like develop these like weird kinky morph suit things that then is gonna drive the video game industry to it as a whole. So that way when you're gonna be wearing these suits, when you get like shot here, you're gonna actually like feel
Feel
pain
it?
here.
Okay, so do you die?
Okay, but here's the thing: nobody can focus on anything else because you made it about sex. Like everybody,
literally,
like,
you're like right away.
everybody- that they're just like like everybody's just like, nope. Like it doesn't matter if you can get shot, but how does it end?
Sex.
But no, because
That's how it ends, right? Every time.
because I mean, like let's be real though, like sex sells,
You win
that's just a
Warzone.
marketing
sex.
and then to build on that though, like that's just where it's gonna go because like people are gonna get all frustrated and shit. They're gonna need to let off some steam, so they're gonna go kill some motherfuckers in like COD 36 by then. Whatever it is, it's good. They'll be going back to like the Viet or like the Civil War or some shit for like the third time by then, and then like people are going to be going in there playing their games, and then at the end of the day, they're gonna go do their thing after.
Okay. That's an idea. That is an idea. I will give you plus 6 points. You're at 1 point right now for having an idea. I mean, that can happen. Not really, but like it could happen. But
What do you mean not really? Yeah, of course it's going to end up happening because
It
look,
would.
they already have these like VR headsets. They have like other
Okay.
weird sexual things that you can attach to your set. I know a friend.
okay, yeah, but like when do you think that this would happen? Do you think it's like 100 years, 200 years? Like when do you think that like us going into video games is actually going to happen?
I would say within the next 20 years. Because even look at how
20
far
years?
we've come within the last 20 years.
To actually like be able like to like knock yourself out in a sense and go fully into a video game.
I mean, like, because look at even 20 years. Like, I mean, let's go back to like the 1990s, right? Back then, people would have never imagined sports games and like graphics looking as they are now. Like, look at the new Mortal Kombat, for example. Like, how graphic and everything it is, and how far it's come since the first Mortal Kombat, and that's in a span of like 20 to 30 years. So if you continue to go from another 20 to 30 years from here, it's out there, man. So like, I think 20 to 30 years, and we're gonna be wearing these like exomorph suits, going into the Matrix, and like actually like feeling shit when we're playing.
So my question for this is like because multiplayer games is always going to be a big thing, right? So
Yeah.
how do you think that multiplayer games are going to work? Because it's like I'm playing Call of Duty and I'm going to shoot you
about to say-
until you die.
Yeah.
Like, how does that work? Like, am I actually killing you because you're wearing these physical suits that are inflicting pain so that you're into the game?
I mean, but think about this too. Like, if you die in your dream, you die in real life. So, like, if you die in the game, is that going to put you so much into shock that you would die? That's I don't know.
Well, I don't know, maybe for like some people that just can't handle it and can't disassociate themselves from it. Because, like, let's be real, there's already people that are like obsessed with video games and taking things to the next level. So, I mean, it's definitely a
Conscious
possibility.
They're conscious when they do that, right? So in your subconscious, when you're knocked out, like you wouldn't be able to disassociate yourself with that. Like when you're knocked out, you're thinking all that.
But it's that I don't know, like it's like who knows? There's probably going to be hacks. There's going to be different things that are
Oh, can
happening
you
like
imagine
this. But
hacking in that
it's a
game?
possibility.
Oh, hacking in that game? That'd be legal murder. If
I mean, like, let's be real though, it'll probably happen though.
I saw someone in chat say GTA doing this. That's literally like it's like a second life of whatever you want at that point. Well, I mean, I could see that happening for sure too with video games. Like where you get to a point where GTA is like so real, it's like almost all of America, all the world basically, where you can do whatever you want there. You know.
Yeah, all right, dude. It's just gonna be GTA 5, but in like
Yeah.
you knock yourself out to play it.
GTA 5 coming out in VR.
It's going to be coming out, yeah, GTA 5 remade for the 40th time.
It's gonna be the Skyrim 100th anniversary edition.
Still waiting for the next Skyrim. But I mean, like, that's just what I mean, though. It's going to keep evolving from there. Because, like, yeah, even like where we thought about like virtual reality and more things like that now. Like, can you imagine like going back into like when you were a kid and saying like, hey, this is where gaming's going to be when you're an adult? Like, you would have been like, no way. No way.
I mean, it is crazy, but there's so much that goes into it. I don't know if we're gonna be there in 20 years. I mean, I'm 100 years maybe, but there's so many different levels that kind of go into that. Where like the biggest one being death. That how would that happen? Because you're not going to test it on a human if they die in there. Because if they do die, then you've just killed somebody. But like you know, like you're not gonna you don't want to do that.
It happens.
Hey, who wants to test this
we got
out?
like a few billion more where that came from. It's fine.
Who wants to test this out? I mean, it's free. It'd be fun to be the first one to do it, but you may die. So,
but it's just I don't know. Like I don't think it's going to be like, say, for example, to the extent that Ready Player One is in 20 to 30 years. But I think we're going to be seeing something to the extent that we're wearing these suits and stuff like that. Because there's already like some virtual reality full headsets where like you're wearing your headset, you're having a hold a gun, and you're running on a treadmill to like run around and play COD now. That's happening right now.
It is.
So it's just like, I think in 20 to 30 years, we're definitely going to be getting to like that initial stage of this.
At what point though would it be from like running on that treadmill to like laying down and being all subconscious? And at that point, how would you know what I mean? Like, how would the computer be able to read your subconscious mind to know what it was wanting to do?
I mean, it like they already have computers that do stuff like that, though, right? Because like, they like scan your brain when you're sleeping and see what you're dreaming and stuff.
Very, very, very basic. They can get like blurry things out of it, but not anywhere near like full on images yet. So,
but, I mean, like, it'll be coming though.
But then we'd have to then get images into our brain while we're in that knocked out state to get images back out and not have any input lag per se and be in real time.
But it just be like when you're knocked out, you're like kicked out of the game, you're done, right? And then you just go back to reality. You have to like wake up and then get back into the game.
No, I know. I'm just trying to advance this, but it's interesting. It's a possibility. 20 years, maybe 100 years. I don't know, but like this is something that I actually thoroughly like that. That's a possibility. I think about it like all the time. Like this is the way that gaming is gonna go. You know, to make that next big step in gaming, that's probably the way it's gonna have to go. Is something that into the game.
But yeah, like so, like Sugar Socks is in my chat saying you have virtual workplaces that big corporate companies are using, and like it's gonna keep building from there, right? Till eventually it's gonna be people using them in social aspects, and then it's gonna keep building. Like they'll have like virtual cafes and bars that like singles can go into to hit on one another and pick one another up, and then it's gonna keep building with all these little virtual cafes and everything.
Have you seen Futurama by chance?
Oh, of course I have.
So like when they go into the internet, you know what I mean? And then they actually go into like these different places, like these different bars, chat rooms, games, those kind of things. Like that is something that I can see us get to eventually. I don't know how long it would take to do all that because you'd have to have a network that's strong enough to handle that. And what happened if let's say your power went out, That would be a tough one. You know, no idea. You know, you're stuck in there if the power goes out. Just, yeah, it's fine. But you know what I mean? Like, there's like, it's interesting to think about all these things like this, like Futurama, that kind of stuff. Like, there's conspiracy theories behind it that the guy who made Futurama came back in time to write Futurama to write about the future, but that's a wormhole of things.
That's like those. Well, because Matt Groening made it, right?
I think so.
Alex is nodding. So does that mean yes, Matt Groening made it?
Yeah, sorry. Yes, Matt Groening did make Futurama.
Because I mean, that would tie into everything else that they're saying that like the Simpsons are predicting the future and stuff like that too, right? So, but I don't know. Like, that's just where I think it's going, man. And I think it's going to be happening sooner than we think. Like, I think it's going to be happening in our lifetime, even.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool. I don't care how old I am. If I'm 100 years old and it happens, I'm jumping in.
Zella's going to all the virtual fucking like strip clubs and stuff.
Yo, buddy, I'm there. I am GTA 5 strip club as a 100-year-old man in VR, full thing. As long as I can like customize my character to be like have like the like whole like outfit and everything, like a full thing, I'm doing it. The full thing. I mean, you're customizing every. I'm talking cyberpunk customization here. That's what we're talking about.
No, so it's that's where I think the future of gaming is going, and it's gonna be here sooner rather than later, and it's gonna be happening in our lifetime. Maybe not to the point that Ready Player One is, but I feel like at least like virtual reality cafes, headsets, and kind of like what you saw in like that movie Gamer with or Player, whatever the fuck it's called, with Gerard Butler. Like I think we're seeing COD and some certain games like that happening.
Okay, well, I award you 34 points. You're getting 35 points total right now for that interesting conversation about like even going to like that chat room style thing. That's a for sure possibility. That's gonna happen. I know that's gonna happen at some point. I don't know when it's gonna happen. I don't know if it's your 20-year time frame that you're trying to say, but it's definitely gonna happen. No question about it. We're getting there at some point. You know, there are people working that right now.
And we're only going to get there because the porn industry, drives everything. Because look at the porn industry is why Blu-ray's around, and that's why HD DVD died.
It literally is. They're like, what do we make these on? We were making this on Blu-ray. It's like, oh, okay.
Does any of you guys remember in like the early to mid 2000s when it was like HD DVD on the Xbox 360, and then the PlayStation 2 had Blu-ray? And it was only because the porn industry went with Blu-ray that Blu-ray survived.
PlayStation 3 and Blu-ray.
Sorry, PlayStation 3.
Two is still just regular DVDs.
That's what I mean, though. The porn industry is going to drive all of this.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you're looking at freaking Pornhub. They're probably doing that right now, trying to get it done. To be honest.
So we're talking about video games.
Yes, we are talking about video games. This is an all-inclusive about. Alex, go.
Okay, so back to your point, Zell. I had somebody DM me the other day saying that people were actually uploading their gaming clips to Pornhub. Like, there's actually a lot of non-gaming stuff that's on there. I wouldn't know because I've literally never been on there. But this person DM'd me and they were like, "Okay, nice." Anyway, nice. This person DM'd me and they're like, "What do you think about this?" And I was just like, "That's weird. That is real."
They just
weird.
Sent you a link. A random person just sends you a Pornhub link and says, "What do you think about this?"
No, they sent me and they sent me a screenshot of somebody's tweet and they were like, "What do you think about?" Because somebody tweeted saying that they were going to start doing it. And I was like, that is so weird.
So, I'm not going to say I've seen or I haven't seen it on there, but it's definitely on there. That's all I know.
Zell's like it. Zell, let's be real. You're in like the deep.
Oh,
you're like in tab like
watching
356.
I'm watching Valorant highlights on there at this point.
I go there to watch Rick and Morty, so.
This isn't the right Rick and Morty.
Wow.
Y'all seen Upload? Feels like it goes in this topic. Yeah, Upload, kind of, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Scar and I kind of had the same idea. So for me, if you've ever watched, okay, but I did not think about it at all during my thought process today. My thought process is, if you've ever seen Star Trek, they have whole rooms where you go in, you load up the program that you want to actually do, and then you're immersed in the game while you're still wide awake. So that's kind of where Scar and I differ is
Yeah.
my stuff is you're wide awake, you're actively doing it. It's like you're playing the game. It's VR, but to the next level where you're not wearing glasses. You're actually in a physical room. You're in a physical room playing the game that you want to play. So like we're playing Call of Duty multiplayer and like the impacts of the bullets is paintball. And you have like a certain amount of life that you have and you know about and stuff like that. So um I think that's kind of where things are going to go. I think that in the next, because I think originally we talked about like thinking about the first 100 years, and so I think in the next 100 years we could honestly see like full on. They're called holodecks in Star Trek, but full on holodecks like rooms commercially available for people to have. You're not going to have those in your home anytime soon because they
Hmm.
are. I mean, the technology that you're going to need to create something like that is going to be insanely big at our level. Um, but I think that that's honestly where games are going to go because you've got games like GTA.
That'd
You
be
walk in, you'd be like, start GTA 75, um, San Fran, York, and you turn it on, and you're back in your house. You walk out, you change your clothes, and like all that stuff really happens. But you're wide awake. You're actively making these choices, and it could be a way for people to like escape their daily lives.
that's
I
actually
think that
really
that's
interesting. Like, okay, so I have a question. Like, at what point do you think it would go from commercial to like, let's say in my house I've had an extra bedroom or my basement. Like, when would it be like you could put it down there? Like, when do you think that process would happen? Would it be like 120 years, 200, whatever it would be? Like, what do you think that would happen? When?
I think that because I think that how it's designed, because I really based my ideas off of how Star Trek was, is like you
Yeah.
had to have special walls. Stop mocking me, Scar. I can read your lips, you nerd. Um, you have to have special walls. You have to have a special projector, and so that the computer can like the processing power is going to be huge.
Yeah, it
So
would
you're
be
going to need a whole like, if you're going to turn your basement into it, it's going to be your whole basement is going to be taken up by this
23090s.
23090s. You're going to need like 103090s,
You're
bro.
so, but I'm just like
Because
that. I mean, that's like one thing that's like really that, and we have a chance to get there too. Like, it's an idea like kind of a mixture between Scar and yours, which would be like it's a possibility where you kind of have these rooms, where you can jump into, and it may not be fully there. Like you may see like base things around that you can kind of walk around that room, but you may still have a headset on at that point to kind of get you fully immersed in there instead of the room around you. Because I'm guessing what you're saying is basically the room around you kind of turns into that area, doesn't it? I
whatever,
believe.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it basically whatever it does is it takes the room and it populates all of the stuff for you. So like everything you can touch everything, you can do everything that's going on.
Alex, have you ever played in virtual reality?
I played the Star Wars virtual. I went to Dave and Buster's and they have a Darth Vader virtual reality hat thing that you can do.
Oh, but you've never actually like put on like a virtual reality headset and
Yeah,
played any of the games?
it's like a headset that you put on and then you've got controls to like control your lightsaber.
Yeah, because like in my old home city, they had like a virtual reality arcade, and my buddy knew the owners, and they gave us like the test run to go play before they like fully opened. But it's like yeah, like you just have like the headset on that's connected to cables and everything in a room. But like yeah, it's just when you walk around, you actually move, and then we get too close to the walls, it actually like it cuts out, and you can see like the wall right there again. So that's how you know when you're just getting too close. So
I
I
think
think it
that
would just be something like that.
I think that that's definitely like the route that it would take to get to what I'm talking about. But like, in my thought process, like this is a whole room. Like you don't have to put anything on. You just go into the room. You load up the program that you want to do, and then you get to do it.
Mm. So
And obviously, there's going to be like safety parameters and whatnot. So like you can't kill each other if you're playing Call of Duty or something like that. But like you can feel physical. You can feel the physical things about it. And so Scar took the pornography route. I'm going to take the other thing that drives a lot of technology, the military route. I think that military training would go really, really far with this. And if they don't already if they're not already utilizing something like this,
I know they're already
I
using
think that they will be
VR.
soon.
Military is using VR. They're actually doing that right now because that's a good way to train without actually, going into combat, obviously.
Yeah.
So, like, that's honestly, it would be porn or military because, violence and, sex sell everything. So honestly, like the military route, it would be a good thing, and not a good thing, but like, it would be a good way to start pushing technology forward in an aspect like this, because this would be the way you go from, you know, just gaming type thing, and it's going to push as far as it possibly can, because it wants to get the most accurate representation of layout of the war that they're going to go into. Let's say if it's like Afghanistan, Iraq, whatever it may be, they want the exact layout of what they're going to face. So they're going to be doing this to the, you know, nth degree to make sure that you, as the gamer, whoever it is, has the most perfect layout and everything's always perfect, that they can walk through that. So honestly, I think that the military would actually be the one to probably to push it further than porn. Porn, would you have room, you know, military to push actual landscapes and actual like areas.
Yeah, I think that because we've already mapped basically the whole world thanks to Google.
Yeah.
So like,
I mean,
you just take
you can
the
fly
data
anywhere
from-
in the world with Microsoft Flight Simulator. You can land at
Yeah.
any airport in the world.
So I think, and that's honestly where my thought process went, was like, you can have, sure, you can create your own worlds and whatnot and make them look as real as possible, but like in terms of real life applications, we have mapped the world with satellites and stuff, and you can literally just spin that up in a computer, and it takes less than a minute. And so I think that's where things are going to go. I think that when you see Call of Duty 952, you're going to be playing in this. You could go and you could play in the streets of Moscow or the
Yeah.
hillside of West Virginia.
So for that whole floor, the whole like the floor situation though, that would somehow have to move underneath you so you're not hitting a wall or anything, because that wall wouldn't just disappear when you got into that atmosphere. So something would have to happen with that floor, something where you could actually interact with it and kind of move with it, you know? So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Because otherwise you'd hit a wall, you hit the end of it.
Yeah.
But like,
I think that the idea of that, like the program would guide you so that you're not actually hitting any walls or anything. So the program would be like, okay, the physical wall is here, so maybe you can't walk down this. Like they would put a door that you can't go in, or it would like turn the walkway so that like, oh, if I have to go in this house, the wall is right here. I can't see the wall, but the computer knows the wall's there, and so it puts the door that I need to go into like to my right, so I'm
Gotcha.
instead walking into a house to the right.
I'm about to say, or would it be, Scar brought it up before, that belt that you basically wear and you're on that like all like omnidirectional the treadmill kind of thing, to do something like that. It may have to start off something like that and then go into something like you said. Because the only problem I see with what you said is like if you're in a bigger open landscape, like you're playing Call of Duty in the middle of Moscow, there are open areas in Moscow where things could happen, and your room won't be as big as Moscow is, obviously. So at what point would you have to you'd have to turn your body still in order to not hit a wall? But how would it'd be kind of awkward and like visually to see a screen kind of move around you while you're still trying to walk straight.
Yeah. So I'm not sure how it would work
No,
if
I don't-
I think that technologies. I think that's the route that technology is
Yeah.
going to go, though. I think
I
that
think it is too.
that having eventually, you probably have the Elon Musks of the world who have an entire like garage full of just this like
Or an
this
Amazon
building
warehouse,
material.
basically.
Yeah, an
full
Amazon
of-
warehouse. Like,
I
think
honestly think that this would. I think that the idea between Scar's idea and your idea, I think your idea comes before Scar's idea, because Scar's is a full immersion into it. Yours is a mostly immersion into it, but you're still fully conscious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're still conscious, where Scar's is like you're passed out. And the idea between being passed out and passing data back and forth that fast is tough. But you could merge between yours to be first and then try to then get the knocked out subconscious thought process into it to get into Scar's later.
and I think that part of like for mine, like you get more. I think that you might get more out of it because you're getting the full senses, right? When you're asleep, I don't think you're going to get the full. The computer can generate sights and sounds and all of that stuff. Whereas if you're asleep, like
It's
I
tough.
think that it would be better to be awake for it.
Yeah.
Plus, like, I can just be like, all right, turn off the program. I'm out of here.
Yeah, and
No, I wasn't saying that you'd be like asleep, but it would just be using like your subconscious to like really make you fully immersed in it more so.
So how would that work?
Like the Matrix, that's what I was saying.
They're asleep.
Yeah, I know.
But like they're still like fully
They
aware
are.
and awake though, that they can still like, find ways to pull themselves out. It would be like that.
That's what you got to kind of like Scars is like just it's past Alex's. Alex's comes before Scars. If you don't do Alex's first, I don't think you're getting to Scars. I think Alex's is a good start to it, but the actual full immersion to subconscious, we're not anywhere close enough to actually be able to pass data back and forth like that yet. You know, we're still trying to understand, you know, the inner nuances of the what's the word I'm thinking of? It's the spine, it's the nerves, basically. The nerves that tell your body what to do. You would have to be able to find a way to have every nerve that controls all of your muscle movements and everything be able to send those signals to a computer program to say what you're doing, you know? And right now
you have to think about it in the Matrix, right? They've got those, you know, when Keanu wakes up from whatever, he's got a freaking hole in the back of his neck where they plug the jack into.
Yep.
Sorry, Scar, but to play video games, I'm not getting any holes drilled in the
back of your neck. I mean, but it's a valid thing there, because I mean before I wanted to be before I wanted to go in like finance and stuff, I was trying to go into engineering, trying to go biomechanical engineering, make prosthetics, and the whole idea of like making a prosthetic where you use all of your fingers and everything like that was hooking up to your nerves. It's literally thousands of these wires trying to hook up to nerves and everything to try to make it work. It's so much signal being passed back and forth that one computer would have to be massive in order to actually just handle that much processing. Alex, okay. Point time. Military is brought up. Good point, because they're going to push it forward first. Poking holes in Scar's story. Wow. Big one. You know, I'm not getting a hole in the back of my neck. Hell no. You're right. I'm not. Scar -1.
But no, I'm not saying it's going to need to, because you're going to be
neck.
wearing these suits that it's like you're going to feel the punch instead, or like the shot of the bullet. You're not going to be like, burr, like getting drilled in the back of the neck. You're going to be wearing this exosuit, and I even preface everything with that.
To my subconscious, it needs to happen. It needs to get into my nervous system to connect and actually be able to use my joints and everything so I can actually talk about it. So
but I'm saying it's like it's gonna build up to that. It's not gonna be that right away, because like, let's be real, they're just gonna be able to like, you know, put those things over, and it's gonna like hypnotize you in a sort of sense that it's just gonna be like flashing lights, sounds, and then your subconscious is gonna be there. So, because look at, there's already hypnotists in real life that they can say a few things and then you're just like out. So they're not gonna need to go like into the
I've been hypnotized before. I really have been, and it didn't fucking work.
I've been hypnotized, and like it knocked me the fuck out, and I was doing shit that I didn't know what I was doing. But I was still awake.
Scar, you're really making me nervous with the fact that you'd be like, "Oh, they just hypnotized me," and then you know, I does all sorts of weird stuff, and I have no control. Okay, Scar, yeah, that sounds even better than holes in the back of my neck.
Yeah, but what? Zell has been hypnotized. Alex, have you been hypnotized?
That look says no. That look says no.
So like none of you guys have. Okay, but like if you haven't been hypnotized, then you don't know. The thing is, it's like you're awake and you're conscious and you're aware, but you're just kind of like not in control of your body. But the thing is, when you're hypnotized, you're not going to do things that you wouldn't do in real life. And that's what they say all the time. And like that's an actual thing.
It's kind of like people balk like a chicken. I don't think I'd ever do that in real life.
No, but it's in the sense that they're not gonna like, you're not gonna pull your pants off in front of the stage. Like you wouldn't do anything that's like really too far. But like seriously, if you've never been hypnotized, you don't know. But it's like I was before in high school, and it's just kind of like, it's weird. It's almost like you're like in the passenger vehicle of your body, just watching what's happening, and you're kind of like, okay, but then you're just along for the ride. It would be like that. So there's not going to have to be like any drilling or anything.
The big point I'm just trying to make here, Scar, for you is that at some point your body has to tell the computer where to go. Right?
Well, yeah, but that, like, you know what? I'm not gonna say you're not gonna be like fully knocked out, because you're still gonna be like running on these treadmills and doing stuff like that. I'm just saying that's gonna be taking it to like the next level with the subconscious to really pull you into the game.
I think, okay, I'm giving points right now. I'm gonna give 30. What are we at? -5, Alex? I'm gonna give 41 points to Alex to get him to 36 real quick. By the way, okay. And the reason why is because the idea we can go fully into scenes is it's happening right now, because that's literally how they're filming The Mandalorian, is by using Unreal Engine and putting screens all around them to get them in this real environment so they can actually be there.
That's just a green screen.
No, it's not. They're actually making screens around them and actually putting them in without green screens. So they actually feel immersed in the environment. That's what they're doing now. That's how the Mandalorian is filmed. So you're not seeing green screens behind them. You're seeing screens, but they're actually in certain environments. So the idea that you can be in certain environments and be on a treadmill like you may have, which is true and people do it now, but being able to move around in there is more of a reality than the full VR being knocked out by hypnotists in order to play Call of Duty. You know, that's all I'm saying. Alex has got 36 right now. Scar's got 35. That's all I know.
I'm just saying
Scar
the
has
porn.
1 point. Is that what you said?
I'm just saying the porn industry drives all, and what's going to really start it all is them so they already have the virtual reality headset and the virtual reality stuff on Pornhub right now. So what they're going to be taking it to the next level is these sensory suits that you're going to be wearing to actually feel shit. And then from there, it's gonna then transition into the games where it's with that. And then from there, it's gonna just keep snowballing with stuff until it is kind of like hypnotizing you with the suit. I'm not saying it's knocking you out. It's not gonna be any of this Matrix bullshit where you're gonna be like, I know Kung Fu. Like that shit's not gonna be happening. But it's just gonna be like with the body suits and everything like that, where it's almost like you're completely disconnected and disassociated from the real world via this. I'm not saying that you're gonna be knocked out, all this stuff. But it's just at the end of the day, sex sells, guys, and that's a proven fact.
So does war.
So does war.
Yeah, but that's only in America. You guys spend more on your military than the rest of the world combined.
Hey, I'm just saying.
This would be something that could go in everywhere because sex sells everywhere. And even especially in countries like Japan that actually doesn't have a military budget at all, they would buy into this more too.
What do you mean by that, Scar?
So, like a lot of American military gets stuff from, technology stuff from overseas. We don't make we don't make everything here. And
but
so
I'm saying
when you tell,
sex is going to drive it first and not the military.
Well, I don't know. I personally think military would drive it before or not porn, just because military, with just America alone, the budget we have, they would say we need this tomorrow and would find a way to get it done. I think that's what it would be. Or it would be the entertainment industry as well. The mixture between the two. Not just porn. Obviously porn's going to do a ton, but
porn is going to be the driving factor.
Say it again, sorry.
Do you have any last remarks before we close this episode up?
I'll go first because alphabetical order. Scar makes some good points. I do think that sex does drive a lot of industries, especially the entertainment industry. I know gaming, with gaming, what was it? The HD discs were supposed to be better for gaming, but because porn preferred Blu-ray, that's where we went. So...
All right, +2 to Scar. You're buying one out. This is you're literally you're doing a last statement for Scar at this point. Okay,
I'm doing you guys don't even have to say anything. But I think that in terms of things that would go from being highly developed and then going into the entertainment industry, I think that the holodeck feature would eventually be the more immersive, the probably even the safer means of playing games in the future, right? So with Scar, you have to put on a bodysuit and apparently have holes drilled in your neck and
-2. Alex is all about safety here. Scar's not. Scar, you gotta yeah. Scar's not about safety here. Alex is about safety. +2. Just -2 to
I don't
Scar.
know. I honestly think that in the end, it's gonna go a way that it's super immersive. I think that Scar is kind of on the right track, but I still don't know. Like you were kind of saying, the full immersion is not really there because you're not connected to the nervous system. With my system, you're getting your sights, you're getting your sounds, and you could eventually get smells.
Mm-hmm.
Like the technology could eventually be there to where you get smells. So either way, if either of these things can happen in my lifetime, I'm 1000% in.
But the technology already exists and has been out for years to actually include smells in areas that they wanted to. So they actually could do that fairly easily. So the inclusion of smells would be pretty simple. +1 point to Alex for inclusion of smells. So Scar, you're down by 2. let's see what you can do here to wrap this up and hopefully make a comeback. We're probably not. We'll see though. Scar, what do you want?
All I'm saying is, like, at the end of the day, like, we've already seen this, that, like, right now what's really pushing the virtual reality industry is Pornhub and the porn industry. That's what's pushing a lot of the virtual reality stuff now. And it's going to continue to develop and push things from there to the point that it's going to be doing, like, sensory suits and stuff like that. And then they're going to be taking that into video games. And it's going to keep going from there. That's what's going to be happening. I'm going to call it now. Whereas, like, the military, their big thing is it's like, yeah, it'll be good to kind of get you in the feel of it and looking at it and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, like, there's nothing like a boots on the ground experience. It's kind of like, for example, we're about to go play Apex. You can go to, like, the shooting range and sure, you can get warmed up, but there's nothing like actually getting into a real match. Like, for example, we've all used the bow in the shooting range and have felt like a damn god. But as soon as you pick up that bow in a match, you couldn't hit the broadside of a barn and save yourself. So, like, that's what I mean. The military, at the end of the day, they will a little bit, but I don't think, like, they're going to already get to kind of where it is now and not go any further with it, because they'll be like, yeah, at the end of the day, you still need to feel a gun in your hand and do the reloading and actually feel what it's like to get shot at. So what they'll do is do stuff like paintball and stuff like that. So, like, you actually feel that ball whiz by your head and you actually, like, are in it that instead of just doing this virtual reality stuff. So that's my rebuttal to why the military isn't going to be the driving factor.
Well, you mentioned boots in the ground for that, so that happened. I'm just kidding, but you did mention boots in the ground, so that's military. But anyway, no, that's a point where it may not get to that where we see that full immersion, because the military may want to have that real feel. Or it could be the way where the military decides to push and say, we want that real feel, and so they're going to do everything they can to get it. And so, I mean, honestly, I think that truly,
what they'll do is...
truly, Alex is going to be the start of what it is. Alex is going to be the start of the VR to get to that level of depth. And then yours, like that final stage of actually feeling a bullet whiz by your head. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying Alex is coming first. Putting a hole in the back of my neck is coming second. That's all I'm saying.
Well, we're going to put a hole in the back of your neck.
Okay. But how are you going to feel a bullet whiz past your head if you're wearing a suit?
You wouldn't, unless you had it into your nervous system and actually got like that sense of fear.
You have to have a drilled hole in the back of your neck in order to feel the bullet whiz past your head.
Because it has to be somehow put into your mind that it whizzed by your head, and you would have to be able to hear it and everything like that at the same time.
I think in my system, you could get to the point where the technology is putting out directional sounds just like that. Yeah, I don't know. It's a fascinating topic, and it's an interesting way to think about how things could be in terms of gaming.
It is. Okay, let's wrap this up. Scar, you made some great points. You really did. Fantastic. You mentioned Pornhub. Everything. Alex, you mentioned Pornhub. This has been a porn episode. Can we just call this, will porn take over the gaming industry? That's our episode title. Okay? Straight up.
So come on. Okay, I got to get points from that because my argument made the title. That's got to get some bonus points here. Come on now.
All right, you get 1 point.
I think a good title could be like War versus Porn, which drives gaming better? Or which drives gaming further?
I mean, because let's be real, there's already violent porn out there, so that's going to mix
it. What would you click on? Would you click on war versus porn, which is to drive the gaming industry forward, or porn is going to take over the gaming industry? I'm clicking on porn's going to take over the gaming industry, and I'm clicking on that and be like, all right, let's go. I gotta watch this, I guess.
Somebody in my chat said we should just call it Porn PAPi.
That's episode number 2, Porn PAPi. Okay.
Anyway, come on, my argument's going to be the title, so I got to get like more than just one point. Come on, man.
You got one
begging
point.
For points.
Jeez, Al,
he's a sore loser over here. He's begging for points.
And
like you've never played sports, and you're like, ref, come on, ref.
First of all, you didn't even come up with the title. Okay, we're not going to go there. You didn't come up with the title. That was your title point, by the way. Okay, that was your title point. Alex already got his title point. You got your title point. We're good there. At the end of the day, it comes out, Alex, you're the winner. You win 36-35. Close contest, but Alex comes out on top because He mentioned some good talking points, and I just think that's what it came out to be. Scar, don't flip the desk on me. You're done. Get out of here.
That's just because he's like, oh, America, military, her.
Why does it have to be our military? Why not Russia? Why not China? Why not
Because
South
I
Korea?
touched on this. You guys spend more on the military than the rest of the world combined.
Okay.
Like every other country would be like, let's go build
some
some
tanks.
tanks.
You know how expensive it is to maintain an F-22 Raptor? It's really expensive.
Or buy a bunch of F-22 Raptors. That's a lot of money. We have budget for like
just,
next years.
Buying military hardware and leaving it around the planet. So final thoughts, Scar sucks.
Final thoughts, Scar sucks. He's losing. I'm facing him next week. Alex is our host next week. We'll be back here Thursday to do this. Look for the podcast on Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, all these other places. Do what you got to do there. Subscribe, follow, just click the whatever button. I don't care at this point. Anyway.
I'm not letting this go.
Shut up. Until next time. Podcast out.